Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text our little show on 81215, follow it on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Peter.
Morning.
I'm still reeling, but never mind.
Oh, Peaky's back soon.
Peaky's on his way back as we speak.
He's played a blinder.
Nice.
Did he say that? He must have said that in the papers, did he?
How does he get back then?
Well, he has to come through the Earth's atmosphere when the outside of the aircraft gets like about, it's something like 2,000 degrees. Something like
I
I'm
love
slightly
that.
busking this there. It's hot. It's considerably. It's really hot. And I also think they feel intense. It's like they're you know when you had those pile-ups at school? Do you remember that? Did they do pile-ups at your school then?
Bundle!
What do you think?
Pylon!
No, we did do that.
stuff.
Yeah, so one kid would
Scramble,
go down,
we called
and then
it.
like
Scramble.
it'd be about 30 kids pile up on top. I mean, it was a terrible game when you think about it.
And is that what all the astronauts do when he gets back?
No, but they feel that's what he feels. He's like on.
With all those helmets?
It's like he's being squashed a bit,
All right.
and then they don't land on water anymore. They land on land.
Why's that, I
That is
wonder?
weird.
And what happens is, just as they're about to hit the ground with a mighty bomb, 1 second before they hit the ground, a sort of a explosion happens, which just softens the blow
Really?
a bit.
How do you know all this then? Did you read it all in Kindersleyberg?
He knows a lot of stuff.
knows a lot, doesn't he?
He knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it's still quite a jolt when they
Oh,
when they
I'll
land.
bet. I'll bet.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, there you are. The landing of Major Tim Peake, ladies and gentlemen, there. Frank Skinner. I know we got Paul, I think, who's at the game today. Paul. All right, Steve. It's building up. The excitement's building up here. Whoa. All right, lads. All right, keep it down. Anyway, there you are. That's what other stations are like, so stick with us. I've got, now last week I got into serious trouble asking a simple question about why smoke comes out the back of planes and not every plane.
Oh, the chemtrails.
It was
yes.
It was all answered.
Mention the chemtrails.
It was all
Yeah.
answered. I didn't realise I was opening a lid of conspiracy theories.
Sure.
I think I'm safe for this week. I was going through Swindon on a train,
Yes.
and I saw something which I'd sort of forgotten all about as a phenomenon. I saw a man train spotting.
Oh, yeah.
How lovely.
Still going.
Yes, it
I do
was.
think that's rather lovely.
Yes.
Was he going mobile phone? Just pointing the phone at you?
No.
Camcorder?
He had the reporter's notebook.
Oh, really?
With the
Old
metal
school.
rings at the top.
Old
Oh,
school.
he's so cute.
It never occurred to me that they use technology.
They're all about the gadgetry.
Yeah, but
train
still
spotters.
Yep.
they still have a plastic bag for possessions, though.
And sandwiches.
Not just a
presumably.
plastic bag, but a plastic bag that's been used so much that some of the paint's starting coming off the design.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
secret. I find now people go for the Sports Direct bag. It's a bit sturdier.
Oh, yeah.
That's for students moving accommodation.
See, I think it's
That's their suitcase, the student suitcase, Frank.
I think it's the badge of the autograph hunter, the Sports Direct. Anyway, I first of all I thought that it had all gone by the wayside. Second, I remembered that it became an insult, didn't it? You'd say someone was a bit of a, like someone who knew, for example, some details about Tim Peake's landing.
Yeah.
Be called a bit of a train spotter.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, I'm looking to Al now because I've got a feeling he might have the answer. I don't know quite what they're doing, train spotters. What are they spotting?
I think that the exact train that it is, like, I think it's got, like, a registration plate on it, you know, like...
But they're all the same, Al, like tubes. It's like, you don't
I
need
don't think
tubes.
they are all
spotting.
the same. I bet you do
Some
get
have got
tube
names
spotters.
on. You often get things like the Sally Gonnell.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the...
And if ever they're named after someone like that, they always have, like, the CBE bit and stuff.
all right.
Oh, do they?
Very strict on that.
Yeah, but I think there is a certain, like, identification bit of a train that
And,
they like
what's
to...
the next process, then, after you've done that?
Well, I am not a train spotter, so I don't want to speak for them as a community, but I think they note it down and then they feel pleased that they've seen that one. I think that's the...
Oh, it doesn't go onto a larger grid.
I don't. Well, it might go back to their house and in amongst all the other notebooks of trains that they've seen.
I thought there was an end. I thought they were the middleman.
Yes.
No,
so
I
the
think-
trains, it's like One Direction fans or something. There's like one train, that's the Harry Styles of the train world.
Yeah. I think there's rarer ones that don't get used, and then they get excited if they see that. I mean, I'm very happy for us to hear from real-life bona fide train spotters.
I'd love to know, because as a kid I remember me and a chap called Robert who lived next door, we used to write down car number plates.
Oh, yeah.
But I've no idea why we did it.
That is nice.
And I saw a couple of men looking quite alarmed. I think...
Married, were they?
Didn't someone buy a car on your street once and the whole street came out and said, come have a look at the car?
No, Aunt Nora went out with a bloke who had a car. And we all went out to have a look at it when he arrived. Yeah. It was like a second-hand Mini, but we all went out and walked round. I don't know what he was looking for.
That's what you did when I brought my new car round.
We didn't even know that you had to kick the tyres, and that was how you checked the car in those days. I didn't know anyone who had a car. And then Aunt Nora turns up with someone who's got his own.
Unbelievable.
I mean, talk about embourgeoisement. And that's what I'm going to do in a minute.
Good.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I ask one more train thing and then I'll leave you alone?
Yes.
Sure.
I was on the train and I went to the toilet. Yes, I've said toilet. Saturday morning on Absolute Radio.
Was it one of those...
12:15. And...
was it a slidey doors one, Frank?
no, it was an old-fashioned terminal door. And there was a sign inside that said, please don't use the toilet when we're in the station.
In this day and age.
In this day and age. Now, I've always assumed...
What is that? Why is that?
Well, I've always assumed, and this must be a simplistic idea, that it's because whatever you do in the toilet, when you flush it, it just drops straight onto the tracks underneath. But surely, in the modern age, that wouldn't be allowed.
Well, I've always assumed that as well.
And me.
But I'll tell you what I did do.
Well, that's three of us.
It got stuck, the train. You know, when
Thank goodness for
God.
that.
between...
I'm so relieved you
Thought
said
you
the
meant something
train
else
got...
had got stuck.
sorry.
We don't want to know that level of detail. The things you've told us this morning, I'll never recover from, frankly.
Well, anyway,
They are a
that's
shallow
all right.
flush, but we don't know
that
it
was
to be too
off-air.
graphic.
The train, you know when you're on the train, it just stops. You never really know why it stopped.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it stopped in between Reading and somewhere, and so I went to the toilet, and
What, in the station? Oh, not in the station.
no,
in
it's it.
between. Yeah.
And so I went and did we did what I was doing, flushed it.
The
And then
whole what?
The whole
just,
shebang.
my whole activity, and then. And then I
His
thought,
ablutions.
as I walked away, I thought, have I done the right thing there? Because I'm not in the station.
Yeah.
But how does the train know that?
I
But
think
you weren't in the station, but you were stationary.
I think the reason they don't want it used in the station is that then they'll end up with like 9-foot-high super weeds because they've been fertilised by lots of people.
So they don't mind if it's between Reading and
Don't
wherever
think
else.
so. I think.
But is it the same? Is that actually just dropped
But if you've been
straight out
stung
the
by a
train?
jellyfish and you're standing there...
That's a good point. I
What,
don't-
so does it drop down, Frank?
Is it as simple as that? You flush and it just falls out the bottom of the train. It might have happened in the 1890s, but it can't happen now.
You'd think.
Well, if anyone could enlighten us, I genuinely would like to know the answer to
Yeah,
that.
it probably goes into some kind of septic tank holding
You'd think
area,
so.
like
Well,
a
then why-
camping.
Well, then
toilet
why
or
not
something.
go in the station then?
Well, nowadays, I think on a more modern train, they don't have that sign saying "Don't go in the station." I think now you can go in the station to your heart's content if you, if that's.
Have I turned out to be a track spotter?
I think you have. Yeah.
I don't know, but I find this an extraordinary conversation to start the morning with, and I
Well,
quite like it.
I'm sorry, but once we've hooked the train enthusiast with the spotting element, I thought, while you're here, I've got one other question, and that was it. Now I've done it. I'm
well,
happy with it.
There's an email asking us for help that I'll bring to your attention in a moment if you want.
Okay.
I mean, it's such a double life, Frank,
if it's someone
sometimes.
drowning, should we do it before the song?
No, I don't think it's that time sensitive.
Okay, fair enough.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a lot of feedback on the train front, Frank.
Yeah.
Okay, now my guess is that the idea that whatever you do in a train toilet just drops out the bottom is a simplistic...
Au contraire.
Yeah.
275 I get the train to Norwich every weekday. Sorry to hear that. And the tracks at the station are often covered in faeces and toilet paper.
What really? That's absolutely terrible. I mean, it's the countryside, basically.
It's been somewhat corroborated by 406, who's texted, Frank, you are correct. In old slam door stock, this is true. I like the train lingo there.
I do, slam door stock.
Do you know, I find that so erotic.
Me too.
Give me a call.
Think about the poor track worker! ! So I think we know where the lingo's come from.
Absolutely disgusting that is allowed to happen. Couldn't they just carry it somewhere and then empty it at night?
Well, that's a nice job, isn't it?
I think that's what the more modern
honestly going to
trains
do that?
Well, people work in sanitation.
True.
It's no excuse for just dropping it in the countryside. I suppose that because you're moving, they're thinking what you're getting is a very, very thin line.
Well,
for about half a mile.
Drizzle.
537.
Like
Lemon drizzle. If you're lucky.
537 has this. I took the Trans-Siberian Express a couple of years ago. When you press the toilet flush, you can see a little trapdoor move aside, and the tracks are clearly visible below.
Wow.
It's really wrong. That's what it is.
I think they upgraded it all, though. When trains got Wi-Fi, they also got, I guess,
trains never got Wi-Fi.
They still haven't got good Wi-Fi, true.
They offer you Wi-Fi.
No.
You get a page comes up that tells you a bit about the train company.
You have to be a member and get the newsletter,
and then
T's and C's.
You put in your email, your birthday, all your...
put in everything, all my exes they asked for.
Password one I put in.
They wanted to know everyone I dated, how long the relationship lasted.
Exactly. My mother's co-op divvy number. I put all that in.
Divvy?
And then at the end of it, you're still not on Wi-Fi. That's how Wi-Fi works on a train. I use works in inverted commas. For those of you who are reading the novelisation of this, you already know that.
244 has texted, I once referred to someone as a train spotter and he took great exception to this, stating that the correct term is railway enthusiasts.
No, that's too vague.
I agree.
I'm a railway enthusiast.
Me too.
Yeah, but I don't write anything down.
No, I'm not filming.
Can I just say we are putting people off their breakfast, apparently.
I'm sorry.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry about
change
that.
breakfast, have something else.
Yeah.
I mean, someone else said on Twitter it's because the lack of engine noise alerts everyone to the likelihood that you've just been to the toilet.
No.
I don't think they'd be that sensitive.
Oh, no.
We haven't got stop-start technology on a train.
I dreamt about Frankie Howard last night. I just
Did you?
realised. Yeah. We'll leave it there.
Get your weekly Frank fix. Listen to the show as it happens on Saturday morning from 8 until 11 with more music and fewer ads with the Absolute Radio app.
So I've been doing my Friday night troll. You know, I like to scroll through the emails of Absolute, and if any come in on a Friday night...
I think you should have a TV show called Friday Night Troll.
Oh, God, I can't imagine the content of that. But, yeah, all right, fine.
I think you should have an FNT jingle.
Make it happen, guys. Make it
Exactly,
happen.
We should do that.
Which would you like?
Alan Cochrane's FNT.
I found a couple that I'm interested in relaying you. Would you prefer puns first or road, the boat?
Road, that might be about me rowing.
Oh, it's all about you.
No,
right.
okay.
No, let's do it.
I'd like to... No one answered. I was on a boat with the pointy end... a rowing boat. The pointy end behind me, which is what I'd been told by a man on the side. And I couldn't see where I was going, which is a dilemma. So I was trying to find out a couple of weeks ago, was it? Or maybe last week?
Yes, it may have been last week, yeah.
Whether I was the right way around. Maybe this answers the question.
I think you were. No, it doesn't. Hello, Frank, Emily and Alan. Frank,
hello.
I was listening to the podcast story about you being rescued in a boat at that exclusive resort in Oxfordshire.
Yes.
And as I was listening to the tale, I instantly recognised that it was familiar to me, and I knew the end of the story already. The reason for this was that my son Michael had relayed the very same tale to me days before you did. He was the man you mentioned who assisted you that day.
Shut up.
And I played him this podcast, so just to let you know, he did get your thanks via his mother. So there you go.
Oh,
wow.
Michael.
Nice, isn't it?
Thank you, Michael. You rowed the boat ashore. Hallelujah.
Yes.
All together now. Michael rowed the boat to shore. Come on, sing it. Hallelujah. Let me hear you. Michael rowed the boat. Absolute
there's
radio
people singing.
where real music matters.
What are you singing next? A glimpse of stocking. Oh, I love the sound of Mikey. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm calling him Mikey already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't answered the question what end is meant to go forward.
Well, the pointy must go forward because it's obviously made to cut through the water. Like,
Oh,
yes,
like the pointy
no.
bit of a knife goes through, let's say, a mature cheese.
Yeah.
But whether you're supposed to face... I must
Yeah.
admit, the whole pulling notion
pulling backwards
does
is easy,
seem...
yeah.
It does seem to be that you... But not knowing where you're going, no wing mirrors.
Wing mirrors are the answer, I think.
Oh, I don't like
Wouldn't it be
Never
great
seen.
if people have been
Hate
rowing
wing-
for
I
all that
hate wing
time,
mirrors.
and then you come along and have one crack at it and add something, like wing mirrors?
and revolutionise rowing.
Oh, it'd be like suitcase wheels and... Honestly.
You might get an honour from the Queen, Frank.
That's
Lovely.
I now move on to puns.
I've
which
never
is,
seen wing mirrors on a rowing boat.
No, me neither.
I've seen a diamond ring. I've seen a ring. I've seen a needle winky tie.
We're going to run through everything you have seen.
about everything. When I see wing mirrors on a rowing boat.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Real music, what does it do?
Matter.
Thank you.
Is that our slogan?
Yeah.
Yes, did you not know that's the Absolute Radio
Oh,
slogan?
we're all over
Of
that.
course I did.
Yeah.
Real music matters.
That's a lovely slogan.
Yeah.
Well done, Boffins.
It used to be, when we started, the Absolute slogan was Pernod cures hangovers. And somebody
I
said
thought
it was too laddish.
I thought it was, why can't you play some Nickelback?
Oh, yeah. It was that. I don't know if it was a slogan. It was certainly a regular text on this
the
show.
weekly texting. Yeah.
Oh. And then you get like the odd more sophisticated just saying, Sans Nickelback, question mark.
Frank and the team are live on the radio every Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on Absolute Radio across the UK on digital radio and 12:15 a.m.
This from Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure about trains, but my father-in-law used to drive the honey wagon that took waste off aeroplanes.
They call it the honey wagon.
Yes.
That's not a very apt name.
I
for
quite
it.
like it, though.
Is that where the honey monster would come from? I don't think it can be, can it?
Frank, why is there a man in a high-vis tabard staring at us out of the other window?
That's
Yeah,
the
he's-
man who
he's a builder.
drives the Absolute Radio honey wagon.
Oh, yeah.
He's come for his...
I'd give it 5 minutes if I were you, pal. Anyway. We've had an email also on a Friday evening, and I'd like to bring it to your attention. Puns. Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, long-term reader, first-time writer. I'm writing to ask for some help. My daughter Katie is starting her own business as a dog walker / sitter and needs a name for her new venture.
Oh, yeah.
I've laid awake most nights trying to think of a clever name pun for her business, to no avail. I've learned that I am in fact useless at such a task. Don't put yourself down. I think of you guys as the king of puns. Collectively, we're all the king, not the king and queen.
Worst day of my life.
I wondered if you, or in fact any other readers, could possibly help in this matter. I love your show. Keep up the good work as always. Oh, I shouldn't have read that bit. That's from Joe, a.k.a. Prisoner.
Okay, so it's going to be
360.
a dog sitter
Yeah.
And Walker.
and walker. Okay, you need to give us some time because obviously.
Well, I've had a think, and I thought,
about-
pause.
what about Kate Nine?
Kate 9. Yeah, that's all
Oh,
right.
the name's
Nearly-
Kate.
Nearly K9.
No, that's a bit
you're
sweet.
right.
Katie 9. Kate 9. That's all right. I think that works.
No, it's not.
Oh,
close
guess
enough.
what?
Tell
It's
us
so
yours.
not all right.
Tell us
It's
yours.
fine. What about pause? P-A-W-S. Pause for thought, or pause for arrest, or there's got to be a pause.
Or
in.
pause for a...
Yeah, but
well,
why is
anyway,
that relevant to her?
Just not in a
She's
station.
She's doing a dog walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
A moment of pause. There you go. A moment of pause.
Well, it's endless. The dog
There's a
ones
lot of
must
pause.
be
You can't
endless.
just have random dog ones. It's got to incorporate her. I mean, I know I'm
see.
saying this and not offering any up myself,
Yes,
but that's
it's
because
got
I
to be
loathe
like
puns.
Katie's something.
Katie.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has, yes.
what Katie did. Let's not talk about
What
that.
Katie did.
What Katie did has got nothing to do with dog walking.
It's not.
All right, don't
Sounds
get
like
angry. That's the most aggressive I've ever heard you. And
Sounds
it was
like
over
an
a pun.
It's the most aggressive I've
Katie
ever
dog?
been. Oh, I mean, this is going to lead. If Ian Angle's out there, he's actually the king of the ponds.
That's a good point.
He'll come up with, but I think you should include Katie. Otherwise, it's too easy. Just woof justice.
Oh, Harold has suggested.
Justice. That's all right. I mean, that's more for the sort of judge of the dog crime community.
Yeah.
Harold has suggested
Guard dog.
Kate and dog.
Vigilante guard dogs. Waft justice.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens, Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.
Coming up with suggestions for Kate's dog sitting and walking business, Ben, or as I prefer to call him, 848, suggests Kate the dog mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the repetition of Kate. It's Katie, though, isn't it? She probably hates being called Kate.
Maybe, we don't know that. But Ian Angle, who you predicted would...
Here we go.
He is on
Angle.
top of the tree usually on puns, isn't he?
He is.
I think he may be playing with us here. Here's his suggestion. Don't want to walk your dog, Catherine will.
Catherine Wheel.
Oh, I quite like
I get it
Catherine
now.
Wheel.
I didn't think there was a pun in there at all. I thought he was just doing something really literal.
It's quite Benedict Cumbersome, though, isn't it? That one?
It is a bit Benedict Cumbersome, yeah. What about Katy Pori,
Oh,
based on Katy Perry?
yeah.
No, I don't think that works, babe.
No. 334 has texted Kato Nine Tails because she'd be walking presumably upwards of 8 dogs. And
Now you're talking.
Kato
Now
Nine Tails
you're
is
talking.
definitely our best.
And it references Frank's friends in the S&M community, which I know he'll be a fan of. What about Paul, who I like? He's one of our followers, and I like him because his avatar is the badly painted fresco. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Paul has just said Rexercise, which there's no Kate reference, but he has said #puns, #70s dog name, which I
Yes,
like.
it is. You don't get Rexes anymore.
No.
What about dog business?
Dog business.
It's all gone a bit
Yes,
train
sorry.
station.
That's a bit. Yeah, anyway, fabulous. I think we got a few leads, at least.
Hey, very good. Really impressed by that, Frank.
We've also got Katie the doggy matey.
You've done that one once.
Well, I know he's done it, and it's the same man.
Well, it would be. It's the same idea.
He's probably heard it and thought, I'm having that, even though he said it.
And then he's remembered. Oh, short-term memory is a terrible thing.
We've also had a text, long-time listener, first-time texter. Dear Frank Cockerell and the Divine Miss M, I was listening to last week's podcast when I suddenly felt like I was there with you all, like a friend of the show or something.
It's not that man in the high vis, is it, Costa?
It might be. You were all talking about Dave Wardrobe. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Remember
We were
that,
talking
Frank?
about a guy called Dave Ward who got an OBE and he became Dave Wardrobe.
Yeah, someone sent it in, didn't they?
Yeah.
They worked
People
with
had
Dave.
nicknamed him.
They
And
worked with Dave Wardrobe.
He'd had that fun nickname for forevermore. I am also Dave Ward, and Wardrobe was my nickname at school due to my height. I'm 6'5" now and wasn't much shorter then. So there's another Dave Wardrobe.
I was hoping he's because I always went to school in an elaborate robe, a bit like the coat of many colours.
Yes. I'd really like someone who did that at
If
school.
I was called Dave Ward, I'd only ever wear a robe.
That'd be good.
Would you?
Just wear a toweling robe my whole life. It'd be lovely if your whole life were just in a toweling robe.
Yeah, that would be an absolute
very
game changer
comfortable.
for me.
Oh, how relaxing that would be.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you say... Well, that is
Would
my
you wear a
life when I
boxer
get home
shorts
of
or
an
a brief?
evening. Just FYI.
I'm on about everywhere you go. There's nothing wrong with a robe.
Come into work.
Well, you do have a rule. They always take something off before you leave the house. If you only ever wore a robe, would be difficult.
Frank, what about a robe on the tube? Come on.
Oh, there's no reason why you
I mean, it's got a belt, hasn't
Yeah,
it? Which protects
yeah.
your modesty.
Yeah,
a modesty
exactly.
belt.
Yeah.
exactly. You can pull
Don't take the
one
belt
side,
off.
and it's got a pocket.
And Alan could wear that for his grappling.
Does anyone listening?
Because he's got the judo belt.
The kimono,
Is
yeah.
anyone listening who only ever wears a robe?
No one.
At 12:15.
Well, he continues, actually, Dave Wardrobe. He says, I'm not, however, an OBE, which is a reference to the other Dave Ward, OBE,
Yeah.
but I am an NSC, naked shower cleaner, respect to the cockerel. Remember I pointed out
yes.
that I like to hear from fellow.
I mean, people actually listen to this show from one end to the other.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Absolutely amazing. Respect to them. That's the thing with only wearing a robe. I know he doesn't only wear a robe.
Frank, you pointed out with the robe once that
I
they're
would
difficult.
point out if I had a robe.
Oh my God!
It'd be all right. Sorry, carry on. What did I point out?
How can I carry on now?
I'm sorry.
You observed.
Yeah.
Is that better? That the robe, it can be very difficult to sleep in because of the belt.
Yeah, that is a problem. But you don't have to sleep in the robe.
No.
You sleep under the robe.
Oh, okay.
So you use the robe as your bedclothes. Honestly, life would be so simple because a toweling robe, you could come out the shower, you wouldn't even have to dry yourself, just put the robe on.
Straight on.
Hood?
Yeah, have the hood as well.
Love the hood.
Yeah, of course, it's all going to be 60s boxer.
Frank Skinner, live every Saturday morning from 8 till 11 on 105.2 FM in the West Midlands.
I think at 9:08 this morning we should take a little moment to think about Calvin Harris.
That's our first ever name check, time check on the
It
show.
probably is.
In 8 years.
And it's probably the wrong thing to do, given that the show goes out an hour later on other channels.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Frightened a lot of people.
I've made a fool of myself.
Well,
I
you've-
apologise.
But more exciting, you've made a fool of a lot of people listening on the...
Oh, yeah, tricked you.
Suddenly got into a mad panic.
Meanwhile, the man in the high-vis tabard is getting right down to it.
Is
That
he?
was that was that Philip K. Dick book, wasn't
Man
it?
in the High-Vis
The Man in
Tabard.
the High-Vis Tabard, yeah.
The man in
Anyway.
the high-vis tabard is getting right down to it is not a Philip K. Dick book. I think we should think about poor Calvin Harris, the handsome, rich DJ who's now single. Like, how's he going to meet another girl?
I've got a Calvin Harris this morning. I'm wearing Calvin Classics boxes.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The market ones.
yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I do, honestly. I'll show
But
them.
they made
Hold
of,
on, I'm just going to
No,
show
don't
them.
show us,
I'll show you
Frank.
the waistband.
No, don't, please. I don't even want to see the waistband. Oh, my.
Well, there's his Calvin's out.
Oh,
Calvin
lovely.
Classic.
Okay, put it away now.
And ironically, they're a Harris tweed, which I wouldn't think of as a fabric for underwear, but
Well, it's this. You know, it's not as warm as it has been.
I'd find them scratchy, but I suppose different strokes for different folks, isn't it?
Indeed.
But yes, he's recently broken up with Taylor Swift, who
Yeah.
I still don't really know what she does, but she's in the news.
She's a
lot.
singer.
Sings and dances, doesn't she?
No, she doesn't dance. She's a terrible dancer.
She's a terrible dancer.
Yeah, she's a singer.
She's a terrible dancer.
Yeah, she can't.
I know what you're thinking, but don't say it out loud.
What?
She's a terrible
You're
dancer.
thinking someone with legs like that has got to be a great dancer. That's what you're
She's-
thinking. You're thinking something from the 70s. Now stop it.
Am I? Anyway, she's had a break-up with Calvin, and then 2 weeks later...
Talvin, they were called, just FYI.
Were they?
Talvin.
Yeah,
Talvin.
that was their portmanteau name.
Okay.
Oh, Talvin. And then, you know, he blinks, and before you know it, she's in the papers smooching and cuddling with Tom Hiddleston, possibly.
Tom Wrigglesworth, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tom Wrigglesworth, he's done well. Old Taylor
He's
Swift.
still got that coat, though.
I
He
did
won
like-
the Edinburgh Festival 4 years ago.
But I like that Edinburgh show about the train ticket. I bet she's seen that somewhere and thought, he, my kind of guy.
This is
Tom
very niche.
Wrigglesworth.
It is
It is a
quite
bit,
niche.
it is a bit, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, Talvin, well, what should we say, Calvin, first he was all, I believe he tweeted, what remains is respect and love.
Right.
A bit like your respect for Slaven Bilic for still smoking.
Yes, exactly.
However, then he found out about Tom Fiddlesticks,
Yeah.
and he deleted all the pictures of her, and he said
dear.
it's all about to go down. 3 skull emojis.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bit of a worry because the headline was that Tom Hiddlesworth
Yeah.
had been on a private jet.
Yes.
So when he then tweeted it's all about to go down and 3 skulls and I thought,
Yeah.
what have you done, Calvin? You're 4. What have you done?
I wonder if Tom Hiddleston replied to the 3 skulls with just 3 thumbs ups, like, yay!
Do you know, that would have been good.
It's
He's a class
always
act, though,
difficult,
Higgles.
isn't it,
Wow.
to estimate what an acceptable gap is between
Yes.
relationships.
I think I think his
Yeah.
suggestion is that there was no gap.
They're an overlap.
Oh, he's
Yes,
They
'cause they've
overlap
been
on the Venn
photographed
diagram of
They
boyfriends.
met pre
Yeah,
the breakup.
yeah.
But that's-
However, the son, Frank, did I think they came up, but Ian angled it. They said Tinker Tailor snogs a spy because he was in the well-known spy drama, The Night Manager, one of the ones you don't watch.
And he's being tipped for the next Bond as well.
Yeah, he's going to be James Bond now.
Yeah, I thought maybe something better than snogs. Sounds more like soldier.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's good. It's a good
It's all right. It's a start. isn't it?
Tinker Tailor's good.
Oh, yeah, that's very good. She's a bit of a tinker, I imagine.
Is she?
I wish she, on the subject of the way they did compound names, relationships, I really wish she'd gone out with the 1960s, 70s Welsh footballer Arthur Griffiths. Do you remember him?
No. What would that create?
Oh, Swift Arf.
Lovely, Frank.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Ian Angle has texted, Calvin's been stitched up by his tailor. See?
I do.
She stitched him up by going out with somebody else so soon.
Even Homer nods.
Hey?
One of my favourite quotes, Frank.
Oh, thank you so much. I love The Simpsons. So, how long then was... If there was a gap, let's assume there's a gap. Here's one thing: if you get into another relationship quickly, people always think, "Oh well."
Yeah, that'd already.
Yeah, a bit soon. Yeah.
I think I heard Julie Burchill say once that she doesn't like to get out of the bath till she knows the central heating's on, and that's how she was in relationships. But I don't know what's an acceptable gap between. What's the how low can you go?
Oh, I don't know, really.
The way I used to
10
do
minutes?
it, I'd imagine myself on the phone saying, in protest, "Oh, come on, it's been..." And then I'd try and work out what figure felt acceptable.
Yeah.
6 weeks I always thought was all right. Come on, it's been 6 weeks. I mean, it's been 6 weeks.
It's better when you can throw a month in there, isn't it? I think you should have gone there. It's been nearly 2 months.
Yeah,
You let yourself down there, Frank.
Yeah, maybe. But I think 6 weeks sounds like... Because 6 weeks is how I think of the school holidays.
Yeah.
That was the longest time one ever experiences in one's entire life.
Enough time to clean out your closet.
So, well, exactly. So, you know, we split up. I built a few dens.
But we know your advice, never date anyone in the summer. Never pick your partner in the summer.
It's different now because...
When you know that, Al... Frank's old driver said, Mark says, never date anyone.
No, it's Jerry. He said,
Jerry, sorry.
Never start a relationship in the summer because everybody looks good with a tan.
But everybody has a tan now.
Everyone's got a tan all the year round. It's like fruit. You can get it whenever you want it.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's one of the ways society has changed, isn't
One
it?
thing Tom Cobblestone said when he was... because he danced with that. He said, I love dancing. Who doesn't?
I thought of you the moment I read this.
That's this morning's texting. Loads of people don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it when people slag him off as being a potential next Bond because he's posh, because I think that's what you want, is you want a posh Bond.
I don't mind that.
But I do think that is just... Can you be so posh that you're just confident with anything? Like, he's just thinking, yeah, I'll dance with a world-famous music star in front of all the cameras.
Yeah.
Why would I even remotely think about that being potentially awkward and embarrassing, and that my limbs might not move in the right way? And
I don't think he danced very well.
People were saying he danced well.
No.
You don't want to dance too... That's the other thing with dancing. Don't dance too well.
He's too rangy.
Don't look like you've been having lessons or you've been at home trying. You've got to look like you've got a natural thing that you haven't worked.
He looked like he was trying to impress her, which was lovely.
Oh, yeah, we've all done it.
Have we?
Trying to impress Taylor Swift.
What I would say, Frank, is... How can I put this kindly? I can't. So, he needs to give Dave Stewart a call soon, maybe, just to find out where he buys his hats.
No.
Let's just leave it there.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. Or Wayne Rooney in a few months if you don't hurry up.
But Connery played Bond in a toupee. So, you know, that doesn't exclude Tom.
Yeah, because they look great, don't they?
Well, I thought Sean Connery's was pretty good, and that was a 60s toupee.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where they got the hair from, probably somewhere.
I think standards are a bit different.
Terrible.
All I'm saying is it just looks a bit receding.
Oh, that's a cruel thing to say about Tom Higgle-Piggle.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Andy has texted a suggestion for the dog walking business. Much ado about nothing. Dog walking, it's not really a job, is it? A bit harsh, isn't it?
This is a little bit harsh. I mean, I know what he means. But,
Yeah. I was only talking about that to my personal shopper the other day.
Yeah. No, but when you take... I've never took 9 dogs for a walk. I imagine that is...
Yeah.
I imagine that's a pain.
I think
Oh,
it's a
that's
service-
too many, isn't
They're
it?
a service provider, and I don't think we should be so judgy, Andy.
Especially in the days of having to bag it up when they
Yeah.
excrete.
Exactly.
Wasn't that Jerry Halliwell's song? Sure it was.
Bag me up. Yeah, that would have been showed a bit of self-loathing.
And tremendous foresight.
Oh,
Hi,
wow.
guys. Surely the Sun should have gone with Singer Taylor Stole a Spy, which does scan better, doesn't
Well, that
it?
scans better.
Singer
However,
Taylor Stole a Spy.
yes, I'm talking like a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
She didn't steal him because I believe he was single.
Yeah, whatevs. Howevs.
Well, I don't know. I think when I say single, I think he might be a bit of a 2 phones merchant. If you know what I
Player's
mean.
gonna
Yeah,
play.
but Singer Taylor is good.
It is good.
Singer Taylor rolled a spy.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank, that's first class.
That'd be all
Yeah.
right.
And you know, the compliments don't get better than that for me.
No, that's.
I believe they
lovely.
didn't even go first class. I believe it was private jet.
Yeah, PJ.
Private jet.
Yeah.
And that's impressive, isn't it? But I think
On the
she
first
might...
date.
She, like,
Imagine taking him in the PJ on the first date.
yeah, you've got to have
I
somewhere
mean,
to
that's absolutely
Well, and
marvellous.
they went to their hilltop mansion.
go. Oh.
Why are you talking like a Sun reporter?
Well, it stuck in my
In a
mind.
leafy suburb of North London, pounds million.
Because where I lived in Albury, and full respect to anyone that lives there, there's a place called Hilltop, and it wasn't a mansion kind of an area.
No.
Right.
So the idea that Taylor Swift had got a hilltop mansion, I really enjoyed that.
He went to
People go,
Albury.
Well, you
oh,
think-
it's Taylor. How you going, love? All right. Although we should never have. It was a mistake. I read Hilltop and thought,
Frank told me that place where Adrian Charles comes from is like Beverly Hills.
well, it's compared to.
What's it called again?
Hagley, he came from.
It doesn't sound like Beverly Hills.
My dad used to say if we won the pools, we'd move to Hagley. That's where we'd go to. What about that? In the days when people talked about winning the pools,
Yeah.
rather than just becoming internet sensations.
You didn't want to mess with your dad's pools entries.
No, that's true. Yes. Just in case you don't get that reference, my dad said to the coupon collector man who used to come round to get our money on a Friday, he'd read in the paper that another pools collector had run off with the money. And he said they were laughing about it. And he said, you do know, though, if you ever did that, I'd track you down and kill you. It's that moment when the conversation turns.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
We haven't decided what Tom and Taylor's portmanteau name should be. I believe they call them ship names.
Oh, do
Your
they?
ship name, like relationship.
I think she should
Sound
be
like
called Leggy McLegface, in that case, if it's a ship name. One of my problems with the portmanteau of these two is I'm still not sure what Tom's surname is.
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston.
So Hiddle Swift has been suggested.
Hiddle Swift is probably my favourite, actually.
Is it?
Hiddle Swift.
Swiddle.
Swiddle,
Swiddle.
I quite like.
Hiddleston.
You couldn't get Swindle.
No.
not quite.
You could get Swiddle.
Tom
I
Tay.
get Swiddle.
Tay. No. Anyone got any
Taylor-
idea for their
Taylor
A
portmanteau?
lovely couple. I
would
like her. I
get in
wouldn't leave her in
quickly.
the room alone with a boyfriend, but there you go.
No.
I don't like. I mean, if I was him, I would be worried about dating her because almost everything she's done in her life so far has gone viral, and I don't. I mean, that would just put me off a bit. Like,
It makes her a bit zombie.
No, but that might attract someone who is building their career.
it might, I suppose, but
But you would be thinking who's next, wouldn't you? How long before you become
too much viral.
slam door stock, as they say in the train business?
Oh, I never told you about my trip. Talking of travel, although I didn't get up to any of that
No.
slam door behaviour,
No,
I went over to the south of France last
Did you?
week. Yeah,
absolutely marvellous.
I was invited by Louis Vuitton.
Did you,
Keep going.
Yeah. So when you go over on a trip with Louis Vuitton,
Yes.
they have to ensure... It's quite loud, Frank.
It's getting too loud.
Quite loud. They have to ensure that you... Oh, bonjour! They have to ensure that you have a bag with you.
Was it Eurostar or Flight? What was the,
Flight.
what was the MO? Oh, right.
What was the airline?
MO, modus
Modus
operandi.
operandi. Yeah, we flew over there.
Well, in those, you're definitely allowed to flush in the station in an airplane.
Do you know that took me right back, that music, Frank?
Yeah.
Because I went to the region where the perfumes are made, which you'll be familiar with.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's called Grasse.
grass.
Yes?
It's called grass.
Yes. Don't say it like that, Grasse.
That's how I say it.
It's probably
Grass.
called Grand.
Don't say it in a sort of Beavis and Butthead way. It's a beautiful area.
Grass. That's how I say it. That's just how I
There
say
was
it.
the fragrance is being launched later this year, so I'm afraid I can't say much about it, but I did meet the nose. Louis Vuitton have a nose.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly respected position.
Yeah.
He's seen some sights, that nose. What a man. Do you know there are fewer noses in the world than there are astronauts?
Is
That is a
right?
good
Yes.
fact.
We should explain what a nose
Yes.
is.
Oh, yeah.
So the
Some people will be
nose-
thinking, God knows, won't they?
Ian
But
Angle.
they're known as a god nose, probably because they're so
Yeah.
rare.
Well, would you like to tell me what you think it is?
I think that some people... let me put it this way. Many years ago, I watched a documentary with
Get you.
Jacques Clouseau.
Oh, yeah.
If
I
you-
like the Inspector
no,
Clouseau
Cousteau.
stuff.
Cousteau.
Oh, Jacques Cousteau,
Jacques
yeah.
Cousteau, yeah, who used to be the underwater man. And he
Yes.
met a guy who was able to swim down for various rare shellfish and oysters and things. And he didn't get the bends. He had some weird physical thing. And I always thought, God, how would you ever find that out? I might have that, and I'll never know. Meanwhile, in the perfume industry, there are certain people whose sense of smell is so perfect
That's what it is.
that they can detect all sorts of slight little... You can give them a sauce, they tell you what the ingredients were.
Yes.
I once saw Freddie Fox do it on Peppa Pig with a fruit smoothie, but that was that's a different story. And so if these people are identified as noses, as they
Yes.
call them, then they can command... This is the only time people ever do this. They can
Come on.
command massive wages.
This
Yeah.
is true. Well, you say wages like he's, a West Brom footballer back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Don't get a payback out. I mean, but it is. I mean, they're exactly right, Frank.
But
You
whatever
summed
he-
it up beautifully.
Whatever he
Well
gets, it's not to be sniffed at.
Very good.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Sorry, I'm just reading some instructions out from this pamphlet.
Good cream that you got, though. Anyway, Frank, this is a frustrating text because I thought we were going to get a following example. Frank, I work in Hagley, and it is still like being on a different planet to the rest of the surrounding West Midlands. Me and my colleague have an Overheard in Hagley competition where we listen into conversations to find the most
Quite-
Hagley topic.
Can I just say, quite niche.
But I like that.
I wanted an example, like the other day.
Yeah,
we
send
heard
us an example.
Yeah,
Give us
go
an
on.
example.
That's from Brett in Kidderminster, aged 24 and a half. I like the fact he's also given us the half.
Well,
I
I'd like that. And maybe Adrian, who's a friend of the show, he might know some Overheard in Hagley.
Adrian Mole?
No,
13
Adrian
and-
Child.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was telling you about the nose
Oh, yes.
over
Oh,
in
the nose.
the Côte d'Azur, and
The NASA,
Bless
as they
you.
call him over there.
you see the thing about the nose.
Isn't that what it'd be? The NASA. Is that French for nose?
I'm not sure.
I think it is.
No, I
Maybe
don't
it's
think it
German.
is.
Maybe it's
They're not.
German.
What is
actually.
French for nose? You see, I found this with my French when I was over there, Frank.
It's German because it's Rota Nasa is a red nose.
Okay.
Ah.
I can't
Rudolph.
Do you
remember.
remember that from when you did the German comic relief that time?
Exactly. Rota Nasa Day. Rota Nasa Tag.
I've worked out when I speak French that there's only one word I can say sort of effectively, and that's hello. But the trouble is I say it so well with such a great accent that everyone makes the assumption that I can speak French really well. So I'll just go bonjour, in a very heavily accented way, and then they start talking back to me and I can't say anything.
And then you're like, I'm out.
I know.
Well, I've got a friend who's of Spanish extraction.
Lovely.
And she was talking the other day about...
Fiery.
And she said paella in a way which I had to say sent a tingle through my whole body.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I've ever told you about
Were you
Joe
hungry?
Darby. Joe Darby was a black country hero. I mean, way before my time. And he was a man who used weights in order to jump. Have I told you about him before? So he'd swing the weights and they would lift him up. So one of his specialities was that he could jump onto a child's face and off again without hurting him. He'd swing the
Is this
weight.
regulated by an independent governing
Well,
body?
no, I think in those days they were. This was before health and safety. So he would jump on just at the moment when he would obviously start to do just before damage. His arms would be swinging upwards with the weight, so that would lift him off.
Wow.
He could jump on a basket of eggs and off again.
The,
And anyway, that's how this woman said paella.
Oh, did she?
She barely touched it. Paella.
Yeah.
Paella. Oh, it's
Oh,
fantastic.
excellent.
Absolutely amazing.
It does the trick.
And an excellent
I
example
always
of the
think-
use of centrifugal
Sorry.
force, I think,
Yes.
from
Yes,
What's his name?
I wonder if Joe Darby's ever been used to illustrate Spanish pronunciation before.
I doubt that.
8, 12, 15, if you've heard that happen. Somebody will say, yeah, they did it on Danny Baker about 3 weeks ago.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So the thing about the nose, Al, is that you really want to smell nice for him. Can
Oh,
you imagine the
God.
pressure?
Imagine if you meet the nose and you'd had to rush out of the hotel without a full bath that day.
You don't want to meet the nose when you've had a prison wash. Come on.
And maybe ran for the bus as well to get to Louis Vuitton HQ.
Yeah, because I was
Oh.
really doing that, wasn't I?
I met him. He
What
lives
bus
in this,
route's it on? 257?
he lives in this fabulous Gothic mansion in Paris called Nostril Dame.
Oh, lovely. I wish you'd been there, Frank. You two would have gone like a house on
Oh,
fire.
I don't know. I
I think he would say
turned his
humour
nose up at me.
stinks.
Yeah.
Oh. He,
I smell pepperami.
no. He would have said, where are you from, Birmingham?
He probably would
He
have.
would have.
Wow.
He'd have been wrong. I'm
Well,
from West Bromwich.
I
so
doubt-
someone that would have ruined him.
I
Yeah.
doused myself.
Did you?
And I wanted him to smell, and I said, oh, what do you think? And it was like that moment on X Factor when they're waiting to decide whether they're going home or not. He went, okay. I mean, you don't want to get an okay.
Yeah, it's better than
Not
a bit
from the
basic, though,
nose.
isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit basic.
Imagine if he'd have sounded like Joey Essex.
He must have to live a very
Abstinent?
careful life.
Yeah.
Well, you would have thought. That's another story.
No, but I mean, he's got to watch where he's sticking his nose. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mind his own business, yeah?
No, but
Oh, right, no.
he don't want to go into anywhere with a very he doesn't want to go anywhere with a very
I don't
strong.
think he's in the neighbourhood watch scheme or something.
But I mean, he couldn't. He could never smoke or use snuff or attend a public man's toilet.
Well, I think
Yeah.
he probably could.
Could he? Not in
Well, I don't think we want to be going on those trains.
Not in France.
terrible thing
he
to
might have a walk down the railway track.
Yeah, he wouldn't be
He'd
good
be
in
terrible
Norwich.
if he was a track worker. If he got a job as a track worker, his life would be a nightmare.
I don't know if he's one of the, shall we, as we call them now, the slam shut brigade.
No.
But he was
No.
lovely, the nose. I mean, there is something of the llama about the man.
Is there?
Yes, because he's sort of something magical and mystical about him. I wish I could say more about the fragrance, but I can't, I'm afraid. However, I did have a wonderful time, and I embarrassed myself with my French speaking. But don't you get that thing when you're over there that you think, when you say anything in French, I think the French people are thinking, she's amazing, that woman.
Do you
She
think
can
so?
speak French, which I
Yeah.
can't. Just want to go, bonjour.
No.
I don't think they are
I don't
thinking.
get that at all.
Oh, aren't they? I thought they were.
I
think
mainly
they're
focus
thinking.
on oui and non and merci, and that's it.
What about when I
After
rung
that,
for
I'm
room
out.
service? You know I need an iron. It's the first thing I need, Frank. And it's I forgot momentarily the name of it, which is unlike me because I have a list of the 12 languages I'll
What's
need
French
it
for iron?
Yes, well, I'd forgotten, and I do know that, and I'd
Okay.
confused it. and I rung down and I said, vous avez un embrassé? And it's actually repassé. Embrassé is a kiss and a cuddle.
Oh, excellent.
She went, oh! I was so embarrassed.
She might have just
And then
thought you were lonely.
They were pointing at me in the hotel. Lonely? How can you be lonely with the nose?
No, but you phone down to reception and ask for a kiss and a cuddle. Whenever I've done that, there's been a knock at the door 15 minutes later.
Sleazy businessman.
Exactly.
That's why that woman in Marseille gave me an iron. It's all making sense.
Get your weekly Frank fix. Listen to the show as it happens on Saturday morning from 8 until 11 with more music and fewer ads with the Absolute Radio app.
Yes, so we were in France.
Oh, we've
Yes.
been running through various things.
Oh, by the way, it's
I was with the nose.
It's the anniversary today, I noticed in my journal. It's
Yes.
the anniversary of Napoleon being defeated at Waterloo. I bet the nose didn't bring that up.
Sensitive.
Yeah, exactly. He's very apparently.
Yeah,
apparently.
apparently.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, I
sensitive.
wasn't going to say
Especially
anything.
around the septum.
We've had a text in suggesting a name for the new dog walking business. You know, Katie's setting up a dog walking business. Steve Dooley from Birkenhead has said, how about the name Catherine the Great Dog Walker? Great dog
I
walker.
like it.
I like
Or-
it, but they're not very connected, are they?
No.
I think they're
I mean,
also-
Catherine the Great is the thing, isn't it?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
leader of Russia, but I think that they are they're thinking back to a time when if you were called Katie, you were probably christened Catherine.
Yeah.
And of course,
Oh,
those
yes,
days
yeah.
changed. Now people are christened with abbreviations.
Mm.
Don't blame me.
A less explainable text is 956 has just texted tuna and cheese with pickles, onion and tomato with light mayo.
Okay, give us 10 minutes.
I'm not sure that text is for us.
It is. We're expected to do that as part of our remit now.
Are we?
Now that's what she should call her company.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to confuse people at
It
first.
definitely will.
No, that's the suggestion for the portmanteau.
Do you think so?
That's what they should call.
Yeah. Tuna and cheese with pickles, onions and Tom with light mayo.
You don't think it's a test for the nose, do you? That we should just waft it under him and say, can you do that? Or
Yeah.
blindfold him. Anyway.
Do you know there was a perfume fountain? Extraordinary.
A perfume fan?
Yeah.
Has anyone said Hiddleswift?
Yeah. I said it very early on.
Yeah.
But I love
I
that
would
we
call
think the
that.
same.
Yes.
We dream the same dream,
It's
Frank.
not. The trouble is they're probably already split up.
Oh, do you think
So
so?
here we are, thinking about a portmanteau.
They have. If he's got that Dave Stewart hat. Oh, so there was a rather cute story this week. It's the little and finally Cyril from That's Life Google It section.
Oh yes.
A grandma from Wigan, I believe her name was May Ashworth. You don't get many Mays these days, do you?
Yeah.
Anyway, her grandson Ben had come over to do his washing. I appreciate that's not the best story you've ever heard. However,
It gets
he
better.
looked at her computer.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nosy.
Chic.
He wants to keep his nose out.
Yeah. the nose.
He saw that she'd been Googling. You're safe with a grandma to look at the searches, to search
Well,
the history, aren't
I
you?
think it's a bit. I don't know. How would
Really?
he feel if his grandma had gone round his house and had a look at his Google
He
search?
probably clears
Well,
his
I don't
history,
know.
I should think.
Well, his boyfriend was at home, he said.
Oh, yeah.
He said he'd looked in the search bar and he'd seen that she'd said, please translate these Roman numerals. MCM XCV111, thank you. So he obviously thought this was rather adorable and tweeted
Oh,
it.
and she's so old that that's her password.
Yeah. I think she was trying to work out a text from an old friend. Just a weird number on her phone. Who is this?
It's when
Oh dear.
they'd asked her for a date of birth in one of the... Yeah, so she essentially, she was trying to work out when a show was made from the credits. You know when it comes up at the end on the BBC shows and things, and they still apparently use that.
They do. I
That
find that
form.
weird.
Why do they do that?
Yeah, I mean that'll happen to the programmes you do, like Room 101. They'll have Roman numerals at the end. You think
Someone has
digital
sat,
era?
Someone has sat in an edit suite and said, "Oh, we better put the date of the show on now." What do you think, Roman numerals? And everyone's going, "Oh, that's a good idea." And what about the director's name? Hieroglyphs? That's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, at least she's accidentally she's highlighted a practice which should be stopped.
Why do they do that? Production company, Cave Paintings.
I'd like to think it's sort of insider Roman Catholics at the BBC.
Probably.
But if anyone knows why the dates of television programmes are in Roman numerals, text us on XXB.
Frank and the team are live on the radio every Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on Absolute Radio, across the UK on digital radio and 12:15 AM.
So this rather cute granny, May Ashworth,
It's funny you say that, because I did. This says a lot about where I am in my life. I did see the picture of Granny May Ashworth and thought, she's all right. I honestly did. I thought,
Frank, she's 86.
She's an attractive woman.
Yeah, but she's 86.
I
Come
don't
on.
care.
Okay.
I think you'll find she's V111. No, I don't know how to do 86.
So at your time of life, an attractive 86-year-old's like a yummy mummy, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, yummy grandmummy.
Yummy grand. All right.
She, anyway, the reason that she Google searched that was that she apparently, her grandson says, she's under the illusion that there's a guy sitting there at Google headquarters who deals with all the inquiries personally every time they come in.
Yeah, am I wrong in saying that when Ask Jeeves began, do you remember Ask Jeeves?
I do remember
The
Ask
search
Jeeves.
engine. Did you not used to, or was it, I think I used to type in a question. So it would say, from which end do you peel a banana?
Right.
I would actually ask that question.
Yeah, I often put questions in.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not that crazy. She just added
No.
a bit of politeness.
And why not?
Do you ever use, I don't know, feeling lucky?
Feeling
I
lucky.
hate feeling lucky.
Do you? That's an interesting sentence.
Well, I just don't like it. I think it's, but I don't want some weird game. Oh, feeling lucky. It's a bit like
Yeah.
some creepy man. I'm
I
there
was
for
looking-
business reasons, usually.
I was Googling yesterday. I was Googling Archbishop Pole, the last Roman Catholic Archbishop of Canterbury.
Me too.
I
What
don't
are the
want-
chances?
I don't want
honestly?
that transformed into a game of chance by Google. I just
lucky.
want to know. I'm feeling lucky. Just tell me about him. It's not Archbishop Pole roulette.
Why are you turning it into some fairground game?
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
I know.
I don't like, Frank, so I've got a biscuit in my mouth, I couldn't help it. I'm
all
feeling
right.
lucky. I don't like, some results may have been removed under data protection law in Europe.
Oh,
Which I had when I Googled my name. Yes, it happened once.
Come on, Emily. That's what happens when you Google your
But
name.
why-
A YouTube clip of a woman deadlifting.
That's true. What is that, Frank?
Also, here's something it gets on my nerves about Google search. If you search Google Images,
Yes.
I'm looking for pictures of the person
Stop right
or
there.
whatever that I've put in. You look
Attractive grannies, that's what he's looking at.
up... No, but, well, maybe so.
Handsome 86-year-old
Women called May who've still got it. Is what you search
Okay.
every night.
Okay, but let's take that as an example.
Maybe
If
an
I-
Irene gets in
Let's
there.
take that.
Let's take that.
If I typed into Google Images search women called May who've still got it, I'm as likely to get a picture of Gnarls Barkley. People come up and you think, well, why are they on this search? Absolutely no relation whatsoever.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens. Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.
We all make mistakes, don't we, in life? And
Speak for yourself.
572 has texted, what kind of keyboard does the granny have that she could type Roman numerals into the search bar? And I was sort of,
Embarrassing.
I was chuckling at that, and then about a minute later, 572 has texted, never mind, just realised it's capital letters.
Yeah, oh, well, that's good, though.
Yeah. And so I felt like it's fine, because they've self-policed.
I was a bit nervous when you read that.
I wasn't just going to make fun of somebody sending us a silly text,
Yeah.
as
No,
if
that
I
was
would.
great.
As if I would.
That moment when you press send and then you think, it's capital letters. Oh, no. No, sir, not Othello. Sorry, that was Tom Courtney in The Dresser.
Yeah, that's good.
So when you're doing the old... I mean, that is a strange thing to type into Google,
What?
but I've got weirder.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'd give you a challenge. What's your search history this week?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, actually, I looked...
Do you want to hear mine? I'm looking at it right now as we speak.
Go on.
ITV2+1. I must have been finding out which channel it was on. I wanted to watch Love Island Catch Up.
Oh, okay.
Chris Coleman.
Love Island Ketchup is the worst
Yeah.
relish you can possibly buy.
Chris
Do you want some Love Island Ketchup? No, I don't think I will,
I'm
actually.
not hungry after all, yeah.
Chris Coleman and wife.
Chris Coleman and wife, that's funny.
I was intrigued. I wanted to find out who the wife was.
That's so what my girlfriend does, is look up people's wives.
Oh,
Euros to pounds.
euros to pounds is a good,
None of your business.
good Google.
Yeah, well, if you're in France, euros to pounds is good.
Exactly.
I've got some of
Marco
mine.
Pierre White Jr.
Oh, dear.
and Pig and Kangaroo.
I don't think you've beaten... I know what that one was. Yes, it's not a pub, in case you're wondering. It's a...
Fancy a half down the Pig and Kangaroo. No, I don't like that one.
That's a very specialist interest pub.
Yes,
Let's leave it there.
Glad you're not there,
tabloid
Frank,
love
with your
affair,
friends.
wasn't it?
The Pig
Yes.
and Kangaroo.
Yeah.
Best relationship of the century.
No.
Frank, what have you got then?
I blame
Well, I've got
Nicole Kidman
Archbishop
for that.
Pole, as I mentioned.
Right.
The Tokens.
What's that band?
They did the Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Why are you Googling them?
Because Boz has started singing it round the house, so I thought I'd play him the original.
All right, I thought you were seeing if they were on tour.
I don't- if they're on tour. Donald Justice.
Oh, I didn't like that Disney movie.
It's weird.
Did it when Donald Duck went all vigilante?
Donald, I'll tell you what, I listened to... There's a New Yorker poetry podcast hosted by Paul Muldoon.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what he does. He does that radio thing, and I've heard Melvin Bragg... We never do it on this show. But I've heard Melvin Bragg do it on his Radio 4.
Was he? Oh, I heard Melvin from Kiss FM.
So Melvin, Paul Muldoon was interviewing a poet called Stephen Dunn, and he said, "So, what do you, Stephen Dunn, think about that?" And it's that thing when they say people's name
Yeah.
on the radio. We should
is.
start doing that, Alan Cochrane.
You know what, Frank Skinner, I think maybe we ought to.
Just now and again, just so people
Yeah.
know who we are.
Just people
What
know
else
who's
have you
been
got?
I've got that, and I've got Agnes Miller Parker.
What's that?
That's, it turns out she's a book illustrator from the 1940s. So that's my week.
What about I've just found Noel Edmonds inflatable? I mean, come on.
Is that what you googled?
That's Candice, the inflatable woman that Noel
he
Edmonds
takes her.
travels around with. Yeah. Good that you and I, close friends as we are, have done Noel Edmonds inflatable and Archbishop Pole in the same week.
Frank Skinner, live every Saturday morning from 8 till 11 on 105.2 FM in the West Midlands.
Anyway, nicely swerved, your Google history.
Oh,
What have you got on your Google history,
one of my
Alan
most-
Cochrane?
One of my favourites of recent history is I googled how much is the Iceland away kit. You know the Iceland
So you
football
actually
team.
Googled a question.
yeah,
I did.
and what a surprise that it started with how much is.
With
Because I bet
question
you
mark.
have quite a few of those.
I do actually, yeah. I just watched it and I was really I like that football strip. That is a cool strip.
You
It's
were
the
thinking
first
of
strip.
buying the Iceland away strip.
I don't think I've owned a full football strip since I was about 9. Like socks, shorts,
Yes, I wonder
top,
why that is.
everything.
Oh, that'll be because you're an adult.
They are dear. You're right. Oh no,
I've
that's
got-
not what you meant.
I've got a West Brom one, not
course you
absolutely
have.
up to date, but I've got the Zoopla days.
I might get
Oh,
one. I might get
I
the
think I've
full
got an old
Iceland kit.
Arsenal kit somewhere. You know, and it was all fashionable for ladies to wear the kits. Do you
I
remember
thought
that
you
when?
meant it had been left at your flat.
Yeah, that would be quick work.
No. That is going on eBay, my friend. Is it Sotheby's? Might make Sotheby's.
Imagine
Anyway,
if I did splash the cash and just get a full Iceland strip, just
Imagine
wear
if
it.
I
you
sold that
turned
Arsenal
up
kit.
here in a full Iceland away strip, I'd be very, very happy, Alan Cochrane.
Yeah.
Mm.
I also Google things that I'm already doing as if to reaffirm that I'm right to be doing them, and then I get a bit
Like
obsessed. Like, for example, you know we talked a couple of weeks ago about me eating a tin of sardines in a train toilet?
You didn't Google that.
That is because the previous day I'd Googled, like, sardines' health benefits and thought, oh, God, they're really healthy. They're like a multivitamin in a fish. I'd better eat more sardines. And then I just become obsessed with it and start doing it according to the Google search that I've done.
If I was Mrs. Cockerell and I was having a little snoop through your search history and I found out sardines plus health benefits, I think I'd rather see some filthy creep thing.
I think she would, yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
Sorry.
Although she's not exactly innocent in this department. I had a really weird moment with my wife this week. You know when you're on the phone...
Gather round.
Yeah. Lean in, everybody. Lean in.
Do you know, because I haven't watched Love Island last night, so this will be a substitute.
You know when you're on the phone to a person and you get cut off and there's a little moment where you can hear them but they can't hear you? You know that moment? And usually they say...
yes, I've never had that experience in my entire life.
Oh, come
But
on.
you've never heard background noise?
I've never heard when I can hear them and they can't hear
Like
me.
when you're in an area of weird reception at your end and it goes and you can hear them talking. It's a bit odd. And they sometimes go, are you still there? You know that moment? Have you had that moment when somebody's on the phone
I can
and they've
imagine
said,
what it would be like.
are you still there? So anyway, I was speaking to my wife whilst I was driving to a show, using a hands-free system, fully legal. Everyone relax.
Okay.
And I said to her, how you doing? And she went, I'm just about to have a shower. I've been out running. And I said, yeah, well, I'm chatting away. And then the phone starts breaking up and she goes, he's gone. She said, he's gone. Not, are you still there? She said, he's gone.
Who did she say it to?
Well,
Herself, apparently.
well, you say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone.
And
Thank
then
God
and
for
then
that. He's
I
gone.
said, yeah, thank God for that. No, ooh, baby. Oh, no. You, my friend, are slam door stock.
Oh, no.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I also Googled men's capsule wardrobe this week,
Oh, did you?
which is where you pare down all your clothes so that you've just got, like, I don't know, 25 to 40 items and you don't have lots and lots of clutter in the house, but you like all the items that you've got and they all work together.
I see.
I mean, there's no real mention of a full Iceland away strip in there, because...
No, but if it's something you like...
This is the conflicting Alan Cochrane. Like, on one half, I want to minimise my wardrobe, and on the other half, I want to buy 4 items, like 2 socks, shorts, and a new top.
Shin pads, do you think?
Shin pads, maybe not, maybe not.
That's too much.
Go figure, go figure.
You're right. I'll tell you what, where I am going to go.
Where? Knee by gum, nail corner. He's gone.
I've arrived.
That's what my wife says on the phone, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, we've got an email here. Good morning, Frank, Emily and Alan. Going back a few months to your discussion on why the word spate is only ever used to describe a series of burglaries, I've since happened upon a few more.
Say that yes, I think people say there's been a spate of burglaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'd only a spate use mock.
Ever. I mean, the only other time is cancellations.
Spate of cancellation.
I used that in an email once to a man. I said, due to the recent spate of cancellations.
We're no longer making arrangements.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
I can see that.
He says, I've discovered a few more curious examples. For some reason, riddance is only ever good.
No, that's true.
Nothing is
Yeah.
wreaked but havoc these days.
Yeah, I think that's true, Frank.
Reek. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's no maybe about
Don't
it.
think there's much
It is.
reeking happening
I
except
feel,
havoc.
I feel people do reek something else. But I could be
Oh, well,
wrong.
the
Okay,
nose things.
continue,
The nose things
continue,
people reek,
Alan.
but we only ever let bygones be bygones. Why can't they ever be something else? We
Yeah.
never go fro, only to and fro.
That's a good.
Speak
that's
for
a good
yourself.
point.
People only ever run amok, never walk or do any other action amok. That's true.
No, they never saunter a mock.
No.
True. The shebang is only ever whole. You never get a half shebang, do you?
Speak for
That's
yourself.
That's a good truth.
Yeah, true.
When with bated breath, people only ever wait.
As opposed to...
Oh,
Yeah.
he went there with bated breath. You don't... It's not... He's right.
Yeah. All right.
P.S. While he
You're
cozering
doing
a
his
few
PR.
of these... Yeah. While he cozering a few of these, I've discovered that many are fossil words. A fossil word is when a word becomes obsolete but remains in use purely due to its inclusion in an idiom that is still in use.
Oh,
That's from Rob, prisoner 459.
Northamptonshire. I'll give my best to the clown.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is he still operational?
He's still at
I
large.
think he's a fossil clown. He's not really in use, but except in idioms.
I noticed that delinquents are only ever juvenile.
That's a good point.
Frank, that's so true.
But of course you get delinquents of all ages.
You do. They should really expand that. Get more in the delinquents gang.
He's made some good points, though, old Rob.
Yes, I like it. I like any sort of... It's a good email. I like a language-based email. Middle-of-the-road music. Why isn't more cutting-edge music situated on other metaphorical areas of the road?
Yeah.
Camber.
Oh, yeah.
Camber music, which is a bit like... not chamber music, mind, but it wasn't, that wasn't just the typist in our novelisation. You know, camber being nearer to the edge of the road, a bit more exciting.
Adverse
Well,
music.
Ian has pointed out vengeance may be wreaked. He says this is not a threat, by the way.
Yeah.
But he does say vengeance may be wreaked. I don't hear wreaking vengeance.
Maybe.
Not as much as...
Anyway, I'm going to play a Single Yellow Line single
Oh, nice.
now. It's pretty cutting edge.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
We've had an email saying Spate, a river is in Spate when its bank is full or flooding. Geography teacher St Albans. Doesn't even give a name, just as if there's
I
only
love a
one.
geography teacher.
I didn't
I
know
know.
that. I struggled with geography. Johnny Spate, of course, who wrote Till Death Us Do Part, but not spelt the same before you text
True
it.
enough. True enough.
He was one of our dinner party guests.
Was he?
Yeah, of course he was, Frank. They all were.
So we're still in email corner.
We are, and we've had an email from Katie, who says, long-time
Not
podcast...
Katie who runs Katie's Compass and
No.
dog walking
Cat
situation.
and dog? Cat and dog,
No,
somebody
because-
suggested.
Cat and dog, that's good, actually.
As in K.
This is,
K-A-T.
Yeah.
this is another Katie. Other Katies are available.
Okay.
Long-time podcast listener, first-time contacting. Has Alan tried the Hauser lock? And there's a little link she provides to a website called houserlock.com, just in case he finds himself in a hotel with only flip-flops. They won't stop a burglar.
Oh, yes.
Hi
This,
to Emily and Frank. Compliments to all have been deleted accordingly.
Oh,
this
thank-
is based on the fact that Alan Cochrane wedges. Would wedge be the right word? He wedges a training shoe.
Yeah.
I would say place against, but yeah.
Okay, he
wedge is
places
fine.
a training shoe against his hotel door so that people, if they try to sneak in during the night, will be frustrated by the sole grip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I haven't.
He was away on one of his trips. It was one of the trips when he called home and heard he's gone.
Actually, she was
Come back
quite
to bed.
chirpy about it. She sort of said, he's gone.
Yeah.
As if, like, you know, whoever this anonymous fella is, I think he agrees that I am a better conversationalist. It was fine that I was being spoken to.
Well,
but
she doesn't
she's
want him for
obviously-
his conversation.
Yeah, she just wants him for the
I liked it
physical.
was to
as Frank would
herself,
say.
though.
What's that?
To herself is what I like.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, we hope.
We hope. Fingers are crossed.
He's gone now. Where were we?
Anyway,
Oh.
the
oh,
house
baby.
I look, I haven't seen, but I think it's highly unlikely that I would check into a hotel with just flip-flops, because I'm not really a flip-flop. Although I've recently invested in some sandals.
Have you?
Velcro ones.
Oh, how are they getting on?
More
We are.
surfer than Jeezy.
We'll have you following the Nazarene before you know where you are.
Do you know they're very on trend this season?
No, these ones are not
they?
on trend.
Yeah, I've got a sandal.
They are what
With
my
a
daughter would
platform.
call disgusting, because she doesn't say disgusting.
Oh.
And we've all picked that up. Disgusting.
I find a do not disturb sign tends to just keep people out.
I find exactly the opposite. If
Do
I
you?
put a do not disturb sign on my hotel door, I may as well ask the entire staff of the hotel to try and come through that door.
If I see a do not...
I have asked most of the staff in the past. and I find that
Legend!
almost impossible.
Vous avez embrassé, madame? I find anyone with a do not disturb sign, I know exactly what's going on in there, and I think you are disgusting.
Oh, no, come on. You could just be sleeping.
Oh, come on.
No, you're right.
Give
That's
me
never
just
sorts
a
of
small break. I know what's going on in there. I know you filthy creeps. and don't alert the world to your behaviour.
Well, I went in. I was staying 2 nights in a hotel, and when I went in the second day, the woman said, "We've moved you. Actually, the penthouse has become available, so we've moved your belongings to the penthouse on the 7th floor." So I went up there, excited, and there wasn't a 7th floor.
Oh no!
You're the victim of an elaborate hoax.
When I went back down, she said, "Well, you put a sign on your door that said, 'Please make up my room.'"
Oh.
Anyway,
we got jokes, folks.
Yes, except
Only
they're
took
written
3
by
hours.
someone writing for the Demon Headmaster.
Hoorah, we've ended on a spectacular gag. Old-fashioned gag. Before we go, we should say that we are all very excited that Tim Peake has landed safely.
Yay.
Our space hero has returned, and he's brilliant. I watched him talking, obviously by satellite, to a bunch of school kids, and it's really it reminded me when I was a little boy and the space race was going on. Oh, of course, things were slightly different then. Yeah, that was my team. No, not really. Yeah, okay, guys. Yeah, okay. We love you. We'll call you in a couple of weeks. We're seeing some other choirs. Thank you so much for listening this week. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. And now get out.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.